Breaking news tonight, they've been missing since terror attacks in Belgium. But some family members say a Lexington native and her husband have now been found.
A close call for a Lexington woman studying in Brussels. How a late start to her day might have saved her life.
Investigators released new details about a deadly fire at a Winchester apartment building at a hearing for the man charged with manslaughter.
WKYT News starts now with breaking news.
Good evening. Tonight, some family members say a Lexington native and her husband, who have been missing since the Brussels terrorist attacks, have now been found.
Stephanie and Justin Schultz were with Stephanie's mother, Carolyn, who was flying home to Lexington when a bomb exploded at the Brussels airport yesterday. Carolyn survived the attacks, but the couple had been unaccounted for. Garrett Weimer is live at Transylvania University, where Stephanie Schultz graduated. And Garrett joins us now with the breaking details. Garrett?
Right now, we're still waiting on confirmation, but Justin Schultz's brother says the State Department told his mom Stephanie and Justin were found. It's the first news they've gotten after more than a day and a half, since those attacks.
12 hours went by. 24 hours went by, so it's just kind of very frustrating just waiting on that call.
Justin's brother, Levi Sutton, says his mom was calling everyone, hospitals, the Red Cross, the State Department, but they weren't getting much information. Sutton says some of Justin and Stephanie's co-workers and friends in Belgium went hospital to hospital trying to track them down. In a Facebook post today, Mars Incorporated, where Stephanie works, said they were working with authorities to try to find the couple, adding, quote, "We are hoping for the best, and our thoughts are with Stephanie's and Justin's families." Family members said earlier they could use all the help and prayers they could get.
Yesterday was definitely the longest day of my life, for sure. It's just, like I said, it's just the not knowing that's worse than anything. It's just maddening that we just still haven't heard from them after all this time.
Stephanie's aunt tells us they have not been notified about the two being found, but a friend in Belgium is going to go to the hospital to see if they're there. Congressman Andy Barr's office tells us they're in contact with the State Department trying to confirm those reports. Now, we do not know their condition, and family members continue to ask for you to pray for them. Live in Lexington, Garrett Weimer, WKYT.
Here's the latest on the investigation into the Brussels attacks. Investigators now believe at least 4 men carried them out. 3 of them died after detonating bombs. Police are looking for the 4th man. Officials say one of the suicide bombers at the airport was a bomb maker for the Paris attacks last fall. The Brussels airport will be closed at least until Saturday. 2 of the bombs exploded there. The attacks killed more than 30 people and injured more than 200. A late start to the day in Brussels might have saved a Lexington native's life.
She's telling us that normally she would have been on that train where one of the bombs exploded yesterday. Hillary Thornton talked to her and her family today, and that continues our team coverage.
Dad, don't be worried, I'm okay. I hope you haven't seen the news.
That is the call Bill Tinker woke up to just after 4 o'clock Tuesday morning.
Fear, sadness, joy that she was okay.
Their daughter Victoria, a junior at American University in Washington, D.C., studying international relations, currently abroad in Belgium, working as an intern for a parliament member with the European Union. It is an internship she was thankfully running a little bit late for.
I slept through 5 alarms.
Then stopping to get some coffee before catching a train when a police officer started yelling.
So the next thing she knew, he grabbed her and picked her up and started running. So he saved her life.
Safe, but caught in the aftermath.
My house mom was running outside to come and find me because she wasn't sure if I had gotten on the metro in time or not, because the train that was attacked most likely would have been the train that I would have been on.
Very difficult to watch her get the understanding of what being brave means. She now understands fear.
The college student experiencing her studies of international conflict and peace firsthand today, walking around the memorials, taking this cell phone video of The town, she says, is trying to get back to normal.
If you're staying inside and you're hiding and you're changing the way that you live, then you're letting them win.
In Lexington, Hillary Thornton, WKYT.
Tinker is scheduled to stay in Belgium through May, but says her school is giving students the option to come home early and finish their programs in the U.S. Also, we're receiving some late word. There may be some changes in that statement made by the brother of Justin. According to what we're hearing, the family of Stephanie and Justin Schultz now say they may have been given incorrect information by the State Department. Justin's brother just tweeted that the couple has not been found. Keep checking our website, WKYT.com, and the WKYT News app for continuing developments.
Today, Winchester police testified about why they charged a man with manslaughter for a fire that killed 3 people at an apartment complex. The testimony came during a preliminary hearing for Jackie Heisel Jr. As Victor Puente tells us, police say Heisel had been warned not to smoke around an oxygen tank before the fire.
Jackie Heisel Jr. is charged with 3 counts of manslaughter. Today we learned if the case against him would go on to a grand jury. Today's preliminary hearing was the second court appearance for Jackie Heisel Jr. His son, Donald Heisel, and 2 of his neighbors, Tina Reynolds and Dixie Sizemore, died in the March 11th fire that investigators say started in his apartment. Days after being charged, he spoke to us from jail. He admitted he was smoking and drinking while using his oxygen machine, and the machine caught fire. At the hearing this afternoon, a Winchester police detective said witnesses told them Heisel had been warned about smoking while using the machine. He said at first Heisel said he'd put a lit cigarette in an ashtray, but later admitted to smoking while using oxygen.
There was no possible way, unless it was exposed to an open flame, for it to catch fire, according to the arson investigator. So when I asked him about was he smoking while he had the oxygen tube on, he told me that he was.
Because of that, the judge decided there was probable cause that a wanton act took place and sent his case on to a grand jury. They'll decide if he'll be indicted. The judge also denied his attorney's request to have his bond lowered from the $1 million it's currently set at.
We felt it's appropriate given the fact that 3 individuals lost their life in that fire, and given the conditions of bond, we believe that that amount was a correct amount.
Prosecutors tell us they aren't sure yet when that grand jury will be meeting. In Clark County, Victor Puente, WKYT.
State police, the state fire marshal, and the Winchester Fire Department are handling the investigation into the fire. Tonight, we've learned a lawsuit has been filed in connection to that fire. According to the Winchester Sun, Eric Everman filed the lawsuit in Clark Circuit Court against Jackie Heisel and the apartment complex last week. Everman's mother, Dixie, was one of the 3 people who died in the fire.
New tonight, the family of a man police say killed his wife and 2 young children say that he had been receiving counseling in recent weeks. Louisville police say that Brad Hettinger shot his wife Billy and the couple's children Sunday before setting their house on fire and taking his own life. Hettinger served in the military. In a statement released today, his brother says before Sunday, Hettinger was actively seeking help for complications associated with post-traumatic stress disorder, and he was also attending marriage counseling with his wife.
New tonight, a Danville police officer has resigned about a month after being involved in a crash. Danville police say Ryan Hundley was off duty when his car crashed on Highway 2168. They say alcohol might have been a contributing factor. Last November, Hundley was placed on paid administrative leave. That came after police say cell phone video showed him boarding a Boyle County school bus to confront a child who had been involved in an incident with his daughter.
Enjoy the sun today because it looks like tomorrow could be maybe a bit stormy across the bluegrass. Let's check in now with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey. He has an early look at the forecast. Chris?
Yeah, this time tomorrow, Sam, we will indeed be fighting some thunderstorms across most of central and eastern Kentucky. A few of those could be strong. I want to show you a good-looking sky right now. Yeah, we got a few planes that have been flying over top of us lately here in Lexington. That sky started out on a cloudy note a little earlier, but sunshine breaking free this afternoon. Really, only clouds we can see where the planes have been. 66 degrees right now, 45% humidity. Winds are coming at us from the south at around 10 miles an hour. Still gusting up to 25-30 miles an hour, though not as gusty as yesterday. Areas that had sun earlier in the day into the 70s. 66 Lexington into the Covington area. Only 60, you're sucked into the clouds, northern Kentucky. But those clouds are indeed beginning to thin out from south to north, and that spells a gorgeous evening out there. Big low pressure in the Plains states. It's a blizzard in Denver, Colorado. They were in the 70s yesterday in a snowstorm, a blizzard today with winds near 60 miles an hour. Incredible to see that type of a storm that is cranking. But those southerly winds are indeed going to continue to pick up around here. And as that system approaches from the west, we're going to notice the steady temperatures tonight, mid-50s right on through 11 o'clock. End of the day tomorrow, we'll track the strong thunderstorm threat. When I come back in a few minutes, guys, we'll also take a little sneak peek into your Easter weekend, which does look better than yesterday.
They hope his death can spark a change that saves other people's lives. The family of a Lexington attorney who died after being hit by an accused drunk driver asked Kentucky lawmakers to toughen the state's DUI laws.
Mark Hinkle was riding his bicycle last May when a pickup truck hit him in Scott County. Police say the driver, Odilon Paz Salvador, had been charged with DUI multiple times in the past. As Sean Moody tells us new at 6, it appears changes could be coming soon.
Representative Kelly Flood said this bill was just one part of an approach she'd like to see the state take with respect to DUIs. She said treatment also needs to be a priority. After some discussion today, Senate Bill 56 passed the House unanimously. The bill would change the way DUIs are counted. As it stands now, the DUI look-back period is 5 years. That means 5 years after a conviction, the counter is reset and another DUI would be considered the first offense. This changes that period to 10 years. The bill has already passed the Senate, and it has the support of the family of Mark Hinkle. He was killed last year after police say a drunk driver hit him while he was cycling. That driver has pleaded not guilty to a murder charge. After several minutes of discussion on the House floor this afternoon, Senate Bill 56 passed 98-0.
There was a healthy debate. I felt it was an honest debate, and that's why I believe we ended up, even with support in the end of the gentleman from Barron.
Mark Hinkle's widow, Mary Lynn, said this bill was something they really wanted to see passed.
We're 10 months into this. You know, it's baby steps right now. We can only deal with what we can deal with in a day at a time, and right now, this was our main focus today to get this passed.
Now again, this bill has already passed the Senate, so from here it goes on to Governor Matt Bevin's desk. In Frankfort, Sean Moody, WKYT.
The bill is filed with an emergency status, so it would take effect immediately if Governor Bevin signs it.
Lexmark has already announced hundreds of layoffs worldwide. Now we've learned many of them will be right here in Lexington. More on that coming up.
Then the Kentucky Senate has approved a state budget, but it leaves out money for a proposed project in downtown Lexington.
We got a problem. We're losing a generation.
It's spreading over county lines like an epidemic, and coroners are preparing for the worst.
I actually was checking into getting more body bags.
Overdoses, a county line in crisis. Thursday at 6 on WKYT.
At Gates Nissan in Richmond, we've got a huge selection of new Frontier trucks. Own a 16 Frontier 4x4 extended cab V6 for only $27,990. At Gates Nissan in Richmond, we sell new Nissans for less because we can.
What do these women have in common? They are the staff of Ageless Medical Weight Loss. They've lost a combined 1,300 pounds. The team at Ageless will understand your struggles and celebrate your victories. For a medically supervised, affordable weight loss solution, call Ageless today for a free consultation.
To do the job right, you need the right equipment. Central Equipment Company has provided the right equipment for your farm and yard projects for more than 40 years. So for knowledgeable professionals when it comes to advice on mowing or trimming, seeding to sowing, tilling to repairs, quality name brands, and the right equipment to get the job done right, depend on Central Equipment Company.
Are you planting a tree? Are you digging a garden? Are you digging a swimming pool? Are you putting up a mailbox? Always call 811 before you dig. It's not just a good idea, it's the law. Columbia Gas of Kentucky.
Let's put winter behind us and get out there in a new 2016 Go Anywhere Subaru with symmetrical all-wheel drive. Right now, own a new 2016 Forester for only $23,980 or lease it for just $224 per month. Or own a new 2016 Legacy for only $24,490 or lease it for just $230 per month. Discover why Quantrell is Kentucky's #1 sales volume Subaru dealer for the last 4 years. Come into Quantrell today for a great deal on a new Subaru during the Subaru Love Spring event.
The AOP has had its eye on her for quite some time. We were just waiting for the right moment to move in. The vibe was anything but playful. Go. Okay. We knew we had to move in fast, but there was a crowd, so we had to play it cool. This is where the years of training paid off. We got the scratch-off ticket to her in the nick of time.
We're agents of play, man.
People think this job is all fun and games, but we take our fun seriously. That's what being an agent of play is all about.
Thank you. Just doing our job.
Put a little play in your day with scratch-offs from the Kentucky Lottery. Fueling imagination, funding education.
Bluegrass Medical Aesthetics wants to help you on the path to wellness and healthy youthful aging. Hormone replacement, medically supervised weight loss, Botox, Kybella, and more. Located in Georgetown next to Qdoba. Visit us at bmaky.com.
At Gates Nissan in Richmond, we've got a huge selection of new Frontier trucks. Own a 16 Frontier 4x4 extended cab V6 for only $27,990. At Gates Nissan in Richmond, we sell new Nissans for less because we can.
Tonight we've learned Lexmark plans to lay off more than 100 people at its Lexington headquarters.
Mayor Jim Gray's office says the city has been told 143 Lexington employees will lose their jobs by June. It's part of a restructuring plan Lexmark announced back in February. The company plans to lay off more than 500 people worldwide. Lexmark would not comment on the layoffs.
New tonight, the Republican-controlled Kentucky Senate has approved its version of a state budget. The Senate's proposal has most of the cuts recommended by Governor Matt Bevin, including funding to higher education, state constitutional officers, and public preschool programs. Our news partners at the Herald Leader also report the Senate's budget dropped $65 million in bonds that had been proposed for renovations at the Lexington Center. Both the House and Senate hope to have a compromise budget by next week.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey.
It's another mild and windy day across the Bluegrass State, and late afternoon sunshine really boosting those thermometers up into many areas. Comparing where we are now to the same point yesterday, numbers are a little warmer across southern Kentucky, about 0 Lexington. That means we've got the same temperature now as we were showing you at 6 o'clock last night. Compared to yesterday, it's 5 degrees warmer into the Somerset area. Northern Kentucky cooler, only 60 Covington, 70 Somerset and Monticello. Good evening, Jackson, 71. Your current temperature, 66 for Mount Sterling and Lexington. All those clouds we had this morning lifting on to the north. Southerly wind flow cranking right now. That's pulling up warm and juicy air for the Gulf of Mexico. We're getting closer and closer to that time of year when, yes, we can call it juicy air. Cold air coming in on the backside of it. That's a blizzard. Severe thunderstorms breaking out ahead of it. So let's get this straight. Southeastern parts of Nebraska, severe thunderstorms. Western Nebraska, it's a blizzard. Gotta love weather across the country, and this time of year you get the seasons, boy, that are battling it out. And for us, that same system that is off to the west is heading our way tomorrow. That means our weather tomorrow begins to fight it out a little bit with some thunderstorms. Temperatures into the 60s. Southeastern Kentucky, we can hit the 70s. The area I've highlighted in red, you have the best chance for some severe weather tomorrow. Southern, western Kentucky, most of Tennessee, and parts of the deep south. To the north of that, showers, thunderstorms are still a good possibility, but the severe weather threat as of now is just a little bit lower. Winds tomorrow may crank around 45 miles per hour. Hour-by-hour forecast. Remember, it's a computer model that keeps updating every hour, so we show it to you. It gives you some fresh data. 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. It's windy and it is mild, upper 50s. 70 plus is in the cards tomorrow at noon across eastern Kentucky. We may hit 70 in the Bluegrass region if we keep the sun just a little while longer. Then all of a sudden, cue the thunderstorms. Pretty good little band of some thunderstorms going to crank ahead of our cold front. That by 5 o'clock tomorrow, that band stretches from Ashland through Jackson toward London, and that may have some high winds with that. Front is off to our west, so one more little band of some thunderstorms will then race eastward tomorrow evening. Then we catch a bit of a break with some clearing. Look what happens on Friday morning. You know you're dealing with a potent storm system when you get northwesterly winds that can produce colder weather and a lot of clouds, and there's a chance for a little sprinkle or snowflake action Friday morning. Clouds will slowly dry up on Friday afternoon, though they're slow enough to keep temperatures mainly in the 40s for highs. Out and about on your Friday evening with temperatures upper 30s. By Saturday morning, potential is there for some frost, with temperatures into the low 30s during that time, with a mostly clear sky that will be noted. Now look at the forecast as we go into your Easter weekend. It gets better Saturday afternoon, 66. How about Easter Sunday? Chance for some showers, but I'm pushing the arrival time of that back until Sunday evening right now. Close call. Keep checking back with us. Temperatures, though, at that later arrival, he says, may hit 70 degrees on Easter Sunday. Let's hope that trend continues.
That'd be a nice looking weekend.
It really would be, yeah.
Right.
Thanks, Chris.
You bet.
Coach John Calipari still hopeful of adding another recruit.
He is the top-rated center in the country, but when can we expect an announcement? And Cal announcing which players will throw their names into the hat for the NBA draft. That's next on WKYT.
First Alert Weather is brought to you by Columbia Gas of Kentucky.
At Gates Honda in Richmond, our grand opening will be low-key. No hot dogs, balloons, loud music, no gorillas. We have great deals waiting for you on over 100 new Hondas. At Gates Honda in Richmond, we sell new Hondas for less because we can.
I have to like my doctors. I've got to feel like they have a personal interest in me. Not that I'm a basketball coach, but that I'm somebody they know and they are concerned about. I could go any place for my medical care, but I chose Danville and the Ephraim McDowell Medical Center.
A trusted leader in heart care, Ephraim McDowell Regional Medical Center, where excellence is our only standard.
Have a happy Easter with a little help from Kroger. And save on everything you need for a beautiful day.
Treat your guests to Private Selection Spiral Sliced Ham for just $1.79 a pound. And whole pineapples are 99 cents each. Great food, low prices at Kroger.
Toyota on Nicholasville is so big. Now we need both sides of the street. Introducing the big used car store on Nicholasville. Your certified pre-owned destination. Get the bigger, better Toyota and the lower price. Toyota certified used vehicles come with a factory warranty, roadside assistance, and 0% financing. Choose a Toyota certified used vehicle today at Toyota Nicholasville. The big Toyota store. Where price sells cars. ToyotaOnNicholasville.com.
Window World, superior products
and professional installation at a guaranteed low price. When it comes to home remodeling,
a new door can make a huge compliment to windows and siding.
That's why Window World, America's largest home remodeling company,
carries patio doors, entry doors, and storm doors.
All backed by our lifetime limited warranty and guaranteed low price.
Whether you're trying to make a statement
or you simply want the best value,
opportunity is knocking at Window World.
Window World, simply the best doors for less.
I love grocery shopping at Kroger, but sometimes life gets busy.
So I use ClickList. It's easy. I just order online. And with thousands of great items and fresh food to choose from,
I can get what I want the way I want it, then pick up my order at the store without ever leaving my car.
And for me, that's a game changer.
Order online, pick up curbside at store. We think you're gonna love ClickList. Try it now at Kroger.com/ClickList.
At Gates Honda in Richmond, we want to service your Honda, regardless of where you bought it. We believe that once you've experienced our service department, you'll never go anywhere else to service or purchase your Honda. Come see us at Gates Honda on the Bypass in Richmond.
John Calipari announcing on Twitter late this afternoon that every eligible player on his roster, including the walk-ons, will submit his name for the NBA draft. Calipari said he met with his players today. He told them they sacrifice for each other, and now it's about each individual player and what is right for them and their families. Cal said the hope is being invited to the Combine in May. He put it this way: the new rule states they can submit their name a total of 3 times. If they choose to withdraw, they have until 10 days after the Combine. Cal called it a win-win situation. Only Isaac Humphries and Ty Wynyard are too young to submit. Calipari could add one final piece to his recruiting class next month, Marcus Bolden. Bolden, the #1 rated center and 12th best player in the class of 2017, says he'll make his college choice before the 17th of April. Bolden goes 6'11", 240. He has Kentucky and Duke at the top of the list. Bolden will play in next week's McDonald's All-America game in Chicago. If Calipari adds the Texas native to a class that is already considered to be the best in the nation, it might give Cal the best class of recruits that he has had since being in Lexington. Well, by now you have heard how Georgetown College lost the national title last night out in Kansas City. The Tigers held an 11-point lead at halftime, but Mid-America sent the game into overtime. Trent Gilbert knocking in the corner three with 10 seconds left in OT. It appeared the Tigers were on their way to the school's third national title, but Malcolm Mann was able to get a shot off just before the clock expired, and it rattles in. Georgetown falling in a heartbreaking end of the season, 199 in overtime.
Bottom line is they outplayed us. We almost stole it from them with the big three by Trent. It's a big shot for him to sit over there on the bench and come in there and make that shot. But they, we just didn't make the plays we needed to make. And 4 seconds left, they go in there and throw a shot in to win the game. It happens all the time.
The football Wildcats will return to the practice field tomorrow morning, and they will conduct their first scrimmage of the spring Saturday. Co-offensive coordinator Darren Hinshaw says he's had to teach his quarterbacks basic fundamentals while installing a new offense. So his players are getting hit with a lot of new information.
What happens is your brain starts to go crazy because you're installing new offenses, new plays, new schemes to be able to attack defenses. And we got to be able to have things, and I call it like having tools in a toolbox. You have to have plays that you can pull from your toolbox to go attack different defenses at different times. So we're going to build our toolbox so we have tools that we're able to go work with, and then once we get the toolbox built, we're going to get good at using those tools.
And the SEC announcing today that Kentucky's annual Blue-White Spring Game will be televised on the SEC network. It is set for noon Saturday, April 16th. In a sad note, baseball broadcaster and former Major Leaguer Joe Garagiola dead today at the age of 90. He had been in failing health. Sam Amber, Sam Jennifer, back to you.
Thank you, Rob. A final check of your first alert forecast is next.
Then on the CBS Evening News, team coverage of the Brussels attacks, what investigators are saying about the suspected bombers.
Whether you ride the bus or not, you can count on the fact that many of the people you count on Lextrian.
Ashley Home Store's one-day sale starts at 8 a.m. Saturday. Save on doorbusters like this dining set, now only $1.99, or this sofa or queen bed, only $2.99. One-day sale, 8 a.m. Saturday with preview day Friday. Ashley Home Store. This is home.
Want to fill your garage with the best value brand in America? Honda's got it. During Honda's Dream Garage Sales Event, get a brand new 2016 CR-V, the #1 selling SUV, just $229 a month. Or drive with 0 down, 0 security, and 0 first month's payment. The 2016 CR-V comes fully loaded with available Honda Lane Watch, brake assist, and more. Just $229 a month or 0 due at signing. Honda's got it at your Central Kentucky Honda dealers.
Established in 1841, Hill & Myers is a local 6th-generation family-owned business. Our company has evolved over the years from a wholesale nursery to design build to commercial and equine maintenance. Now, Hill & Myers offers Weedman lawn care fertilization and weed control for your home, bringing together the long tradition with the best products to give you a lush, weed-free emerald green lawn. Weedman, we care for your lawn. Visit weedmanusa.com to request a free estimate today.
We're pleased to announce that we now have Honda in Richmond, which means you can shop and compare the 4 leading brands all in one location. So where else can you shop and compare the 4 best brands, be only minutes from Fayette County, work with one salesperson, and only have to have your car appraised once? For your convenience, out of respect for your time, we now offer Gates Honda, Gates Hyundai, Gates Nissan, and Toyota South, all on the bypass in Richmond.
Tobacco smoke is more hazardous to our children than we ever knew.
Chemicals in cigarette smoke mix with nitrous acid in air, forming a nasty residue, 12 times more toxic to a child than inhaling a cigarette. This stuff clings for months to carpets, car seats, and floors. This third-hand smoke emits toxins easily ingested by little hands. It's linked to ear infections, asthma, even sudden death syndrome. Now we know.
It's the final days of Toyota's #1 for everyone sales event at Kentucky's #1 Toyota dealer, Green's Toyota of Lexington. Save up to $5,000 off MSRP on new Toyotas with our Green Saver coupon. Special APR offers available, including 0% APR on our most popular models. And get up to $2,000 customer cash on 13 different models. Hurry in now during the final days of Toyota's #1 for everyone sales event at Green's Toyota.
Great people, great cars, think Greens.
Ashley Home Store's one-day sale starts at 8 a.m. Saturday. Take 20% off store-wide. Plus, get 12 months interest-free with no minimum purchase. Or pay no interest for 5 full years. One-day sale. 8 a.m. Saturday with Preview Day Friday. Ashley Home Store. This is home.
We're looking at some storms tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow afternoon into the evening, we will get some of those storms in. First half of tomorrow looks really good. We may make a run at 70 into parts of the area if we can get enough sunshine. We make up for it on Friday the other way, 50 degrees. Best news of the day, the weekend looks better. As we roll into Easter Sunday, those shower chances right now, we're pushing those back until Sunday evening and Sunday night.
You're doing everything you can
I'm
to
trying
move those off of Easter.
If I can kick them to Monday, I can do that. I'll try to do that.
There you go.
Thanks so much for joining us tonight. The CBS Evening News is next with team coverage from Brussels.
And we'll see you back here tonight on WKYT at 11. Have a good night.